It was a real big dude. He literally, anybody who was there would tell me. One thing about any story I ever told, I got over 2,500 stories on it. You ain't never heard nobody come up there and say I'm lying. Never. You never will. And if they do, they lying and they can't, you know what I'm saying, substantiate what they saying. But he was literally the biggest dude on the camp, but he didn't like me for whatever reason. Nothing that I ever did to him. And then, as you can see, I ain't no real big dude. He was big, like, 6'8", almost 300. But he at this time, I was within my little larceny. I ran a store box. You know what a store box is. And if you owe me some money, you going to pay me. And if you don't pay me, I'm going to double it up on you and triple it up. And then I'm going to do whatever I got to do to you and take everything you got. That's just how I ran my store box. But you know this before you come borrow from me. So it was a dude that owed me, and he didn't pay me on time, and I'm leaning on him. And it was a white guy, and he used to have the ability to get some weed. And I started leaning on him now to make him pay me weed every time he got weed because he had got into debt to me. Unbeknownst to me, Big Raymond was his name, was cool with him, and he took a dislike to me for leaning on him. So I don't know what type of situation they had going on at the time, but then I find out that he's actually illiterate. And dude reads his mail, writes his letters, and do that type of stuff for him. So he gonna make sure don't nobody harm dude. So being that I'm leaning on dude, he won't think he can lean on me. But I ain't to be leaned on. And I let him know to get out of my business, as we was just talking. You don't get in other people's business. And he was, adamant because he big and and I had seen him already do, bodily harm to people. So I'm already on edge. I ain't the one to be playing with. So we had a homeboy that was, my homeboy we had in common. My homeboy was cool with him. I didn't really like him because he ain't like me. My homeboy kept warning him to leave me alone, daddy, leave him alone. He quilled it for a minute. He just kept, he just kept coming back, saying little things. And it just came to a head one day, man, and he literally told me, man, he said, man, I'm gonna end up killing you. And I said, what? He said, you heard what I said? You heard what the F I said? And my homeboy got in the way then. And that was it for me. It just triggered in my head. That's all I heard was he gonna end up killing me. And he was literally in prison for murder. I mean, like a vicious one to my understanding, allegedly, too. Like, got out on the freeway and walked up to somebody at the car and with a sawed off. So, are you tripping? And you gonna tell me you gonna kill me? So, I was like, and my homeboy got in the way, and I was like, all right, don't worry about it, man. I ain't tripping off him. I'm gone. But in my mind, I'm gonna get this thing, and I'm gonna tell this now. So, I just leave. He was like, yeah, you better leave. He started running his mouth, and I'm like, man, this is so crazy. But already I got hives, man, because I already know I'm getting ready to hurt you bad, man. You know what I'm saying? And I go in my room, man. I was nervous as I don't know what, man. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking about it. I'm literally thinking about it. And I'm like, man, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to me if I do this? Because I'm thinking about taking them away from here. What's going to happen to me, man? What's going to happen to me? And I had read, this is too when you're young, I had read somewhere or seen somewhere on TV or a movie or something that if you pierce the heart with anything, that a person would just collapse. I had read that. I seen it somewhere. So in my mind, I got a big old Bethlehem. This is big. And I'm thinking that if I hit him in his heart, he's not even going to get a chance to fight back because he's so massive. I figured he's just going to collapse. And it ain't worked that way.
It never goes according to plan.
Yeah, it didn't work that way, right? So the whole scenario is, I told this story on my joint, but it's like he was exercising. After he done threatened me and everything, like I'm nobody. Like, yeah, I said what I said and I meant what I said and you ain't gonna do nothing about it. So, man, I pull up on him, man, and I catch him in the back. And I'm right behind his heart. So in my mind, I'm gonna hit him, he gonna collapse. I'm gonna peel over to the hot water joint, right like I'm getting some water, and just walk on to my cell. And that's it. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I saw. That's the scenario I saw. So when I hit him in the back, I hit him flush. I hit him so hard, my hand hit his back. It's like, So all of it went in him. And he just, ah! And he turned around and I was in shock because he ain't dropped. So I charged him, tried to hit him again. He put his arm up and hit him in the arm and it was stuck in his arm. I pulled it out. And he was like, what? All right, I'm sorry. And now everybody looking in the whole block and I'm like, I told you don't F with me, man. He said, okay. All right, you got me. And I was like, boom, and my homeboy, the same one that tried to stop the situation, he was like, everybody looking at you, man. Everybody looking at you, Scott. That's it, man. Leave him alone. So I'm like, I cuffed the joint. I started looking around. I started walking away. And I ain't take but a couple steps and I heard, and I turned around and he done ran and snatched the coat off of somebody that was sitting at the card table and started wrapping his arm up. He said, I'm going to kill you, man. And I'm like, oh, you is? So I go to get him again, and he started going around the table, and then he just collapsed. You know what I'm saying? And I could have killed him. I was over top of him, and my homeboy did again. He said, man, everybody looking at you, man. I'm standing over top of him. I could have killed him.